Welcome back to our channel where we break down the most shocking true crime stories from around the world. Today's story is filled with betrayal, greed, and a deadly love triangle that led to the tragic death of a devoted wife and mother. This is the heartbreaking case of Bianca Rudolph. A woman who thought she was going on a safari adventure but never made it back home. Bianca and Larry Rudolph had been married for more than 30 years. They lived a comfortable life in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Larry owned a successful dental practice and the couple had built a reputation for being ambitious and adventurous. Together they raised two children and shared a passion for big game hunting. Bianca even became the president of a local hunting club admired by everyone who knew her. But behind this picture-perfect marriage there was a dark secret. Larry had been having a long-term affair with one of his dental hygienists, Lori Milliron. What started as an affair built on desire soon turned into an obsession that would cost an innocent life. In 2016, the couple planned a hunting trip to Zambia, Africa. It was supposed to be another thrilling adventure, a chance to spend time together and enjoy what they both loved. But by the end of that trip, only one of them would return alive. On the final day of the safari, Bianca was found dead inside their cabin. She had been shot in the chest with a 12-gauge shotgun. Larry told local authorities it was a terrible accident. He claimed Bianca had accidentally shot herself while packing her weapon into its case. At first the story sounded believable, but small details began to raise doubts. The local game scout who had been with them the night before said Bianca had already unloaded her gun after the hunt. There was no reason for her to be handling it again. A United States Embassy official who reviewed the scene also found inconsistencies. He said the angle of the wound and the distance from which it was fired did not match an accidental discharge. It was clear something was very wrong. When Larry returned to the United States, his actions immediately raised suspicion. Within days of Bianca's death, he filed insurance claims worth nearly $5 million across 9 separate policies. He told insurance companies it was a tragic accident and quickly collected the money. But that was not all. Within a few months, Larry's longtime mistress Lori Milliron moved into his house. Neighbors and friends were shocked. Even the couple's children began to question their father's story. How could a man who lost his wife move on so quickly? And why was the woman he had been secretly seeing now living in his home? The truth began to unravel when a bartender from Arizona came forward. He testified that he overheard Larry arguing with Lori one night. In a moment of rage, Larry shouted, "I killed my wife for you." Those 7 words changed everything. The FBI reopened the case, launching a full-scale investigation into the death of Bianca Rudolph. Agents dug deep into Larry's finances and discovered a trail of deception. The life insurance policies were taken out shortly before the trip. The timelines of his affair matched perfectly with the growing tension in his marriage. Investigators concluded that the safari trip had been a cover for murder. Larry had planned the shooting to look like an accident so he could collect millions in insurance money and live freely with his mistress. It was a cold and calculated crime driven by greed and lust. After years of investigation, Larry Rudolph was finally charged with murder and insurance fraud. The trial was long, emotional, and filled with shocking evidence. The prosecution presented expert analysis showing that Bianca could not have shot herself. Witnesses described Larry's affair, his financial motives, and his confession at the bar. In the end, the jury delivered their verdict. Larry Rudolph was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. His mistress Lori Milliron was also convicted for helping him cover up the crime and received 17 years behind bars. For Bianca's children, the verdict brought justice but not peace. They had lost their mother and learned that their own father was responsible. The story of Bianca Rudolph remains one of the most disturbing cases of betrayal and greed. A husband who could have had everything chose money and obsession over love and loyalty. This case reminds us that danger does not always come from strangers. Sometimes it hides behind the smile of the person closest to you. Bianca's legacy lives on as a reminder that truth always finds its way to the surface, no matter how well someone tries to bury it. If you found this story as shocking as we did, make sure to like, comment and subscribe for more true crime stories. And remember, sometimes the most dangerous predators aren't found in the wild but hiding in plain sight.